Yeah, you mentioned a very important point is that bringing the business with you. So was that a challenge, or if it was a challenge, what measures did you take in order to be successful there?
Yeah, look, I think there are two challenges with it. First of all, we had that challenge where we were kind of stuck in this data governance kind of domain. And CDOs and their organizations in the very early days of the role emerging were very much stuck around, financial regulation, and that's difficult to bring the business with you, quite honestly. It's a almost impossible task to try and bring the business with you when you are the police, right? I mean, you've literally got to, ram their arm up their back and drag them screaming and kicking, and that's not a good relationship to have. So, and I think everybody's realized that, and they've reframed the way we talk about those things. Right? They're really foundations that are good for analytics. They're the things you have to do rather than, the things that the regulators are driving. And then I think when you really start to talk to the business, equally, there's a lack of understanding, right? And having empathy and really dumbing down the language and simplifying the language and really talking the language of the business, rather than, what I've always said, we often, use words that make us look intelligent at the expense of our stakeholders, right? So, shifting away from talking about metadata or, analytics in the technical context and really connecting to the business growth words, and using the language that the business want you to use. That's really been a shift, I think, over the last decade.
That's a great shift. So better alignment with what the business needs, and at the same time, providing adequate governance to meet both the regulatory demands as well as, tell me how many yogurts I will be shipping in raspberry, 9 months from now, right? So that we can cycle up production.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, forecasting is a big part of this, no matter where you look in the business, whether you look at, financial forecasts or supply chain forecasts, really understanding what's happening at the edge with the customer in the store is a big component of being able to forecast what's going to happen in the future. And there are many other signals that you have to bring in to understand that as well.
So you've had a great experience in terms of managing a diverse and a complex business with multiple business units. Did you grow through acquisition? Are there integration costs, considerations for CDOs when they're in a sort of business with multiple business units? That's what I'm looking to understand. And I think a lot of CDOs are facing is that when businesses are acquired or they've got multiple business units, they may have silos of excellence. So how do they combine that, or what strategic trends would you look at that CDOs need to, let's say, learn from your experience in bringing together a very complex organization?
Yeah, I think one of the things we need to kind of lose our obsession with is centralization. Because I think, we look at these silos and we believe that everything has to be the same and it all has to be in one place. And I think the way technology is moving, that's no longer true either. I think you can leave the data where it is, and get the same level of insights that you felt that you might have needed to bring together in a single data lake or in a single data warehouse in the past. Equally, those technologies have moved on significantly as well. You've got things like Snowflake and other capabilities now from a data warehousing perspective that really start to open up the availability of data to the end user. So, but I would say in addition to that, when we talk about specific, strategic trends that might be emerging that we should take notice of, I think we're going to see rapid growth in the use of AI and machine learning in the data quality space. I think data quality is a space where we're going to see a lot of moves from a technology perspective. I think we see, more on the human side, we see data literacy playing much more of a role today, and that's very much I hesitate to say emerging trend, but it's very much getting traction within organizations now, and it's now focusing on the transformation of the culture. And I think there has been that shift as well, that shift away from thinking about this as a technology problem towards understanding it as a business and a human problem, and really understanding the cultural shift that a CDO is required to make happen in the organization. So when you really think about the complex nature of the CDO role as a whole and the different skills you have to have in terms of finding, structuring the right budget, understanding and engaging with stakeholders across the board, managing those relationships, and understanding the dynamics of the organization that are at play there, and then thinking about that cultural transformation you have to take, whilst also thinking about data and technology at the same time. It's quite a complex job. So, in addition to that, I think we'll see a shift away from, and this is a bit of a longer term thing, right? Because it's an emerging technology, but I think we'll see a shift away from data lakes, actually. I think data lakes is going to be a buzzword of the past, and we're going to see a shift towards data mesh, where there's much more of a data virtualization approach to things in terms of leaving things in situ. And we're going to continue to see the role evolve, changing more towards more commercially focused roles with strong need for analytic skills, and foundational skills and data excellence are still going to be a core part of that. But we really need to start upping our game in the business stage now.